Good morning. How are you? Kind of tiring, but I'm kind of tired. I don't know why I'm tired. I got good sleep last night. But today I'm looking at spoilers, and I was going to look at spoilers, and I want to know if you want to look at spoilers with me. Um, because it sounds like a fun idea. Let's see. Ooh. So good morning. Good morning. Morning, Prime. 406 games. Whew. Just want to look at spoilers. Don't have the energy to play a video game right now, so I'm like, let's just look at spoilers because looking at spoilers is fun. And I go on the website, and here's the first card I see. I see a new Shieldred, which we don't need a new Shieldred, but I do need this card. Shieldred costs 3 generic, 2 black, so 5 mana for a legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor. It has Menace. It says when Shieldred enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or planeswalker. I need this card just for that ability. Then you can pay 5 mana, which is neat because it's less than her. Well, it's technically less than her casting cost, but it's the same amount, but 1 black instead of 2. You exile Shieldred, then return it to the battlefield transformed. Only activate this ability as a sorcery, and only if an opponent has 8 or more cards in the graveyard, which is fine. Then on the flip side, she turns into an enchantment saga. It says choose up to 1 target creature or planeswalker for each opponent and destroy them. Destroy them. That's pretty solid. And her second saga ability is each opponent discards 3 cards, then mills 3 cards, which is fine. The discarding card part is tough. The mill 3 cards is meh. Her ultimate ability, or third ability, is you return all creatures and all graveyards to the battlefield under your control. Exile Scripture of Truth and return it to the battlefield face up. This card is mean. This card is aggressive. I like it, and I need it for my Thraxmunder deck. And good morning, Prime. Prime time on vacation. Do. I don't know. I like the card. The card is pretty neat. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I do want a copy of this card. This set has good cards in it all around for me. Vorinclex here. I know some people are excited for Vorinclex. 5 mana, 6/6 trample reach is pretty solid for a creature in general. Whenever Vorinclex enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 forest cards. Forest cards, not basic. So fetches 4 dual lands. Reveal them and put them into your hand. Then shuffle, which is like, okay, it's good. It should have had the Kadama's reach ability, honestly, where you put 1 on the battlefield tap to 1 in your hand. But they probably didn't do it that way for text box reasons. Then you pay 6, 7, 8 total mana to exile Vorinclex and return to the battlefield transformed under its own control, activated as a sorcery. It comes back into play as the Grand Evolution. Grand Evolution. I'm going to fix the screen. There you go. I'm avoided all things because it's April Fool's already. Got dipped first thing. What? You have to explain that more. Today's the 1st? Yeah. Alright, no April Fool's here. Now I can see how this would be an April Fool's thing, because I normally don't cover spoilers like this, don't I? Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, Schnucks. Schnucks. All right, so no, I'm actually looking at spoilers. So the Grand Evolution comes into play. The first ability you get is mill 10 cards, which is solid. Like I like doing that in the green black deck. Put up to 2 creature cards from among them milled this way onto the battlefield. That is way too good. All right. Well, you're paying a ton of mana to get this. All right. Second ability is distribute 7+1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Ooh, that is saucy. His ultimate ability is until end of turn, creatures you control gain 1. This creature fights target creature you don't control. Exile Grand Evolution, then return it to the battlefield. Wow. So basically, for 1 mana, your creatures can fight creatures. So you basically pay for a controlled combat. And this Praetor is pretty good. Pretty good. Well, I saw the video, and knowing Mitch, it's probably April Fool's because if it was real, it would be on the spoiler side already. Let's see. So far, the green and black Praetors that transform are the coolest. We've already seen Alice Norn, and we've already seen Jin Gitaxias, which is fine. But Shieldred and Vorinclex are the top. I definitely, like, out of the Praetors, the one I need the most for an existing deck would be Shieldred. I like this version of Shieldred more than I do like the pay 2 life whenever an opponent draws a card. Shieldred, the one where they draw a card, they lose 2 life, which is fine. Good for Nexar decks, and it's pretty solid. I'm gonna look at this card again. Ren the Realm Breaker, because this card is solid. Now we both know we need this card in our lives. Ren the Realm Breaker costs 1 generic, 2 green. Legendary Planeswalker, Ren. Lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any colors. Ooh. Saucy. This is going to be good in multicolored decks. This card we'll want in our attractive decks for sure. Just for that mana fixing ability alone. Yes, +1 up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature token. Elemental creature with vigilance, hexproof, and haste until your next turn. It's still land. That's neat. -2 is mill 3 cards. You may put a permanent card from among them milled this way into your hand. That's not bad. There's a lot of mulch in the green so far. -7, you get an emblem with you may play lands and cast permanent spells from your graveyard. That is solid. Solid. That's a pretty good. Ren the Realm Breaker is a pretty good card. I can see this in a lot of reanimator decks that run green. Traxa will definitely want this. Any 5-color deck will want this just for mana fixing. It's pretty solid. I like it. Even my Dinosaur deck would use it. Lunch. You're right. I did all the research. Right. Coach, lunch. All right, let's see. Coach, you always make me do work. You know that? Always making me do work. Commands. Custom. Add command. Lunch. There you go. Coach. All right. There you go. All right. So two new. Now we have two new commands because Coach keeps asking for commands. Good morning, Coach, or good afternoon. Joining us in Prime. No April Fools here. Nope. I can't afford a good April Fool's joke because I'm too broke for comedy. I'm kidding, because that was golden comedy there. Oh, and sorry's now command 2, just because of you, Coach. All right, let me get back to the spoilers. So, random wall breaker. It's going to be pretty good, pretty solid. C double. What's this do? C double costs 2 generic, 2 blue, instant. This spell can't be copied. Interesting. This spell can't be copied. You normally see this spell can be countered, but this spell can't be copied. Choose one. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, you may choose both. Copy target spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. A copy of a permanent spell becomes a token. Create a copy that's a copy of target creature. Ooh. But the spell can't be copied. That's because they don't want this to stack on each other. It'd probably be an infinite combo. That is pretty neat. Pretty neat. So it is a clone, effectively, that can copy a instance. It can copy anything. It can copy a battle, copy enchantment, copy an artifact. Yeah, I can copy an instant, copy a sorcery, copy a creature. Not bad. Not bad. It's interesting. It is definitely interesting. Not my favorite of cards, but it's definitely interesting. We've already seen Archangel. Hello. Coach. Yeah. If you guys see a card you want me to look over, let me know. I'll try to scam the chat. Not scam, but scan the chat while I'm looking. Oh, I didn't see Evasion of Innistrad. Evasion of Innistrad. Ooh. Okay, we know the battle thing comes into play given an opponent. Flash, when Invasion of Innistrad enters the battlefield, target creature or target creature and opponent control gets -13 until end turn. 5. When Deluge of the Dead enters the battlefield, create 2 black zombie creature tokens. Yeah, pay 3, exile card from your graveyard. If that creature card, if it was a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. That's not bad. So when I look at battles myself, I just kind of focus on the front face battle siege, because to me battles are going to be as effective as a sorcery. Because attacking a battle is an option. I don't think a lot of people are going to choose most times, unless you're running like a bluish deck and give a creature a good evasion, like unblockability or flying, and get around to creatures. But like in most times it'll just be more effective just to attack the opponent in the face, or attack their planeswalker that can do stuff. So to me, battle cards are more like sorceries with abilities, So yeah, you get this battle comes to play, it removes a creature. Now if you attack it, saying you would, then you get this enchantment on the other side, right? Which is a decent enchantment, but is it really worth the enchantment to attack the battle instead of your opponent's face? That's the question we're asking here. Is it worth attacking the battle over your opponent's face? So when I look at a battle card, I at it as a sorcery. Because, battles don't have ongoing effects, if you notice. Evasion attack here. This is new to me, too. You. All right, give me a second. So, Invasion attack here. 2 mana. Invasion attack here enters the battlefield. You may reveal any number of dragon cards from your hand. When you do, Invasion attack here deals X damage +2 to any other target, where X is the number of cards revealed this way. So interesting. This is a battle that can defeat different battles. Think about that. So if you have a battle out, say you have, well, because you can have multiple of the same battles out, because these are not legendary. When Invasion attack here enters the battlefield, reveal any number of target cards from your hand, dragon cards. When you do Invasion attack, it does X damage to any target, so you can target a battle. So if you're running a dragon deck with these battles, you just play this, which for 2 mana, which is pretty sauce in a dragon deck, like commander deck or something. You reveal the dragons and you deal direct damage. Now on the flip side of this, whenever dragon control attacks deals 2 damage to chain target, that for a tribal deck, this is pretty solid, actually. Hold on a second. Got to. To the capture card. And so our friend Benson is talking to me at the moment, and I'm trying to respond to him. Connect the switch to the capture card and the capture card to the laptop. Order. All right. Okay. So Invasion attack here is pretty solid, pretty fun, pretty neat. Hello. All right. So I saw Monastery Mentor, this reprint coming in, and for a moment, Monastery Mentor felt kind of like an out of place reprint for this set. But he's not out of place. For one, we are invading, what is it? Khans of Tarkir block. We're invading Tarkir, right? But like the Paras effect, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end turn, and you get a 1/1 token based on the second ability there. Battles are non-creature spells. So they put them in here because 1, we're invading Tarkir, and 2, it's a good effect to try to push you to cast those battles. Excuse me, and it helps some saliva. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 token. So whenever you cast a battle, it's a non-creature spell, so he gets the triggers. They're trying to force you to play those battle cards by giving you salivating options. They want you to salivate over Monastery Mentor. They're like, in standard, this is going to be good, or in commander, this might be good. They want you to play the battles, and that's what the Paras effect returning in this mechanic is about, because battles are non-creature cards. So it's kind of like a trick move on WotC's part to say, hey, we're going to reprint Monastery Mentor, which really didn't need to reprint, That wouldn't kill the set if it wasn't in here, right? If the Monastery Mentor wasn't in here, it wouldn't kill the set. But here, because Prowess triggers off battles. And you get, like say in Standard, you're running Monastery Mentor. You cast a battle, you get a token, so it replaces itself on the board, like as a creature. That's my thoughts on it. All right. Bloop, 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 bloop. Here. Let's see. All right. Invasion of Kaldheim. Invasion of Kaldheim enters the battlefield. Exile all cards from your hand. Then draw that many cards until the end of your next turn. You may play cards exiled this way. Ooh, Pyre of the World Tree. Discard a land card. Pyre of the World Tree deals 2 damage to any target. When you discard a land card, exile the top card of your library. You play. Okay, so Invasion of Kaldheim is a commander card, right? Like, I don't see this spell. I don't see this spell playing a lot of. Sorry, I do not see this spell seeing a lot of play in Standard, only because it costs 4 mana for sorcery speed ability. And I don't think people are really going to battle this card. It is a one-sided will effect, and it affects you only, because like it says, exile cards from your hand. So you don't get to choose the player. You don't get to choose your opponent. You're stuck with this ability, which is fine, because will effects. The bad part about this is that the draw part is affected by how many cards in your hand. So you're not going to refill your hand. You're just replacing your hand. And for the cards you exiled, you can play with them, right? You can play them if you have the mana available. In Standard, I don't see that going to happen very much. In Commander, I can see this as late game, late game kind of thing. You know, like 4 mana, got 10 mana, I spend 4 mana, discard my hand, get rid of this trash, redraw my hands. There's one card that's good, and I'm going to cast that so I don't lose all the value from my old hand. But, like, you know, if you have 5 cards, you're getting back 5 cards. If you have 3 cards, you're getting back 3 cards. It doesn't refill your hand like a Wheel of Fortune or something like that. Honestly, this card should refill your hand, not just replace your hand. So if I was to give this card like a grade, like I'd give it like a C-, because it's still good in Commander. In Standard, maybe good, maybe bad. 4 mana is a lot. In Commander, it's good, but it's decent. And look, you can see Toski in the background. Toski. All right. Let's see. Ancient Imperiosaur. All right. What does Tortoise think about this dinosaur? Tortoise loves dinosaurs. The art on it's pretty sick. Like, I won't lie about that. 5 mana, 2 greens, 7 mana for 6/6, which is meh. Convoke. All right, you know, Convoke. You can tap creatures to make its cost less, since creature's green, it reduces the green cost. That's Trample Ward 2, which is decent. Ancient Imperiosaur enters the battlefield with 2/1/1 counters for each creature convoked. So this is a limited beater. That's the first thought that comes to my head. I like Convoke as an ability. I hate how Wizards uses Convoke on cards. Like, they're like, let's put Convoke on a card so we can overcost the converted mana cost to make it seem like you're getting a good discount. Then the ability on the Imperiosaur here, where it has Trample on War 2, is pretty decent. But the one where you get 2+1 counters for each creature convoked it, yeah, that's good. And like it can be very powerful, especially for like tokens, like green white tokens. And you get the 2+1 counters. It's gonna be a decent swinger. Now, will you play this in Commander? Maybe. I mean, depends how fast you get your tokens out, and if you're gonna pay 2 to 0 mana for this, right? So yeah, you really want to, because like Convoke makes this card good in the stretch of the game, and by the stretch meaning based off how many tokens you have out, right? Because Convoke says your creatures can help cast a spell. Each creature you tap while casting the spell pays for 1 generic or 1 mana of that creature's colors. So if you have 7 tokens out and you tap all of them out and play them for free, you're getting, what is it, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 creature with trample more too, right? It's pretty solid, but now is it worth it? Might be. Dice removal? Yes, as long as they pay the extra 2. Still a good card. Commander, it's like meh card. Limited, powerful house card, like Powerhouse. And Standard, I have no clue yet. Like, I don't know how fast Standard is going to be for this card, but this card is pretty solid. Like, if I were to give this a grade, I'd give it an A just for being a dinosaur, but in all reality, I'd give it a C to a C+, because I like the flavor. It is a strong card, but how strong is it going to be? That is to be determined. To be determined. What is this? Dusk Legion Duelist? Let's read this. Dusk Legion Duelist. 2 mana, 2/2 bear. Rawr. Right? 2 mana, 2/2 with Vigilance. Pretty decent. Like, if it was a 2 mana, 2/2 Vigilance uncommon, solid. So this card's off to a great start. Whenever one or more +1 counters are put on Dusk Legion Duelist, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Atraxible, you love this deck, or love this card. Like, with the proliferating, if you don't get the ability off, you don't get to draw more than once a turn off this card. That sucks. So they took a good concept, right? I think they should have loosened the restraints on this concept, right? So it says whenever one or more +1 counters are put on Dusk Legion Duelist, draw a card. This triggers once each turn. So if you put 3 +1 counters on this card, you draw 1 card, right? I think what they should have done is they should have said whenever a +1 counter is put on this card, draw a card for each instance. A +1 counter is put on this card. Use this ability once each turn. So basically, they should have made it if you put 3 +1 counters on this card, you draw 3 cards. Then that's it for turn. But overall, 2 mana bear with a 2 mana bear with vigilance is decent. +1 counters, yeah, this will fly. I think this is probably around a C+ card, like C+ ish, but I just don't like the fact that it doesn't put counters on itself. So it is like a C- to me. Like, C is a good grade. 2 mana, 2/2 limited. This would fly all day just as a good card. White Vampire Soldier. Boop, boop, boop. All right, seeing that. Now this is interesting card right here. City on Fire. Cities on fire. Convoke. Your creatures can help cast a spell. Each creature you tap while causing a spell to pay for 1 or more mana with that creature's color. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent, that player or player, it deals triple that damage instead. It's pretty decent. Pretty decent. So, in Commander, is this worth it? 5, 6, 7, 8 mana to cast a spell. Convoke, tapping creatures. This will definitely see play. This will definitely see play in the Gruul decks that run tokens and lots of creatures. This will see play in the Boros decks that run lots of creatures and tokens. This will see play in Naya decks that runs creatures and tokens, creatures and tokens, creatures and tokens, and creatures and tokens. Anything that runs red and creatures and tokens will definitely play this card. This card is just solid. It's 3 times your mana. Plus, it will stack on existing cards like the Furnace cards that double your damage and anything like that. This is insane value right here. That Convoke makes this card insane. You're like, you look at the cost, you're like, that's a lot, but you're really just trying to get this at an average rate. Converted mana cost like 4 or 5 mana. Like, that's how much you pay for this card anyway. So you're just tapping down creatures. But like, imagine. Look at this. Here's a stupid interaction, right? Say you play the spell. You tap out however you tap out to cast a spell. So you have 1 red mana floating and you cast Lightning Bolt for 3 damage. 3 times 3. 3, 6, 9. 1 mana, 9 damage is insane. Insane. Now you have 2 of these out. Isn't that double? So it goes 3 to 6. 6. Oh my lord. Let me pull out my brain. All right. I'm checking. All right, so 3 times 3 equals 9. 9 times 3 equals 27. So 1 mana, 27 damage. That is insane. Look at that. That is holy cows. So, like, will this card see standard play? Maybe, maybe not. Could be good, could be bad. Could be amazing. Look at me. But like in Commander play, let's play. Now here's a card I'm excited for. Oh my lord. Talk about value on Value Town, right? We got Deeproot Wayfinder. Deeproot Wayfinder costs a generic and a green. It's a 2/3 Merfolk Scout. Hell yeah, this is an Ixalan card. Whenever Deeproot Finder deals combat damage to a player, Serval 1. Serval? Oh my lord. Oh man. Then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Oh my lord. You need this card? I need this card. Everybody needs this card. This is a cube card, commander card, standard card. This card will see play. Why? That combat damage is top deck control. Oh my. Oh my. Top deck control. Why is that important? Well, you hit an opponent in the face. You look at the top card of your library and choose if it goes in the graveyard or stays on top. If you don't need it, pitch it in the graveyard. If you need it, keep it up top. If that card is better in the graveyard, pitch it in the graveyard. This card is so good. Why is this like an Ixalan card? Well, this must be like a weird flavor card because Serval's a Ravnica card. So this could be a Ravnica card, but the Deeproot Wayfinder reminds me of Ixalan with its Merfolk. But either way, I love Ravnica. I love Ixalan, so there's no ill feelings here for the design. This card is sauce. I know this card will see standard play. Oh, yeah. I want to copy this card. The design, I'll give it an easy A. It's aggro, has the abilities you want, and it's a 2/3 for 2 mana. Now, it does not have any evasion, does not have trample, does not have flying. Nope, it's just a regular creature that lets you top deck control. 2 mana, 2/3 is solid. So the design is there. The design is there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Huh. There's an Eos card. He must tutor for something. Let's check it out. Knight Errant of Eos. Heyo! 4 mana and a white. So it costs 5 mana. Creature, human, Knigget. Yep, it's a Knigget. Convoke. There's that convoke ability. Alright, whenever Errant of Eos enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoke the Knight Errant of Eos. Put the revealed cards into your hand and shuffle. This card had me salivating all the way till it says X is equal to the amount of creatures convoked for this card, like used for the convoke cost. This card should not care about the creatures that convoked it. I mean, if creatures that convoked it, you look at the top 6 cards of your library. Yay. Then you shuffle, right? So it comes into play. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. Then you reveal 0 cards and you shuffle your library. That's what you get if you don't have creatures convoke this. So if you convoke this, you can reveal up to 2 creatures with converted mana cost X or less equal to the amount of creatures that did convoke this for whatever creatures is. That's up to 5 mana basically. Up to 5 mana. You're probably looking at 3 to 4 creatures convoking this. So you're looking at the top 6 cards, revealing 2 creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or 4 put into your hand. Huh. So if you're playing this as a creature with no creatures on battlefield, you're paying 5 mana for a 4/4 without flying, without any special ability. This card is basic. With the convoked ability, you get more upside with convoke, which is fine. But this guy's no good after board wipe other than giving you a 5 mana 4/4, which is I said I, which is all right in limited. So I'm going to give this card like a C minus, maybe a D plus. Not a great feeling with this card. Now, I'm not going to say this card's not going to be good, but the biggest issue with converted mana cost X here is it can't be more than 5. You can't convoke more than 5, so you can't get a big bad baddie. Like, check this out. You got Knight of Eos, and you tap all 5 mana out with all creatures, right? So you convoke for 5. You reveal the top 6 cards of your library, and you have, let's say, Darksteel Colossus in that grip of cards. Yay! You cannot get Darksteel Colossus because he costs 11 mana and he convoked for 5. Yay! Now imagine you have like a 6-drop, 6/6. Let's say you have Sun Titan in the cube, right? You convoke for 5. You cannot get Sun Titan from that group of cards. So you're stuck. I don't know. Not a fan of that card. Give me a second. I'll be back. I gotta take a break. I'm back. Sorry. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Then going on to Guardian Gearfer. What's that do? Gearfer enters the battlefield, exiles to one other target creature or artifact you control. Return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next step. So it's a blink card. Doesn't even flash. Blink card. 3 mana, 3/3. Solid B. B because blink is a good strategy. And it'll fit other decks. I like it. Quick, easy, simple. That's flying. That's an angel. Yeah. Angels love this deck. Bloop, bloop. So, let's see. Let's check this card. Archpriest of Shadows. 5 mana, 4/4. Has backup 1. Has Death Touch. So backup 1 comes into play. You put a +1 counter on this creature or that creature. So you put a +1 counter on this creature when it enters the battlefield. Or you can put a +1 counter on another creature, and the other creature gets Death Touch on the turn. The following abilities, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, return target creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. This card is spicy in the Dimir deck. Holy cow. All right, now, is this card amazing? No, I'd probably rate this card like a D plus, C plus, like between D plus and C plus, like varying on what deck it's in, how strong it will be. Dimir will love this card the most because you got ways to give it evasion and blockability. So you have a creature that's unblockable. Let's say you have Aqua's form on a creature already. You cast this creature, put the +1 counter on the creature with Aqua's form, blockable. So you tack in. Nothing happens. No spells cast. You can't block it because it's unblockable. You scry 1, whatever, because of Aqua's form. Keep that card on top, or you can tuck it at the bottom if you don't want it. That's what Aqua's form is. Aqua's form is pretty powerful. All right. Anyways, so creature deals combat damage to a player, and you get a critter card from the graveyard to the battlefield that turn because you tacked wise. Pretty solid. So varying on the deck here, I'd give it a D plus rating because it's 5 mana 4/4 or 5 mana 5/5, which is decent. So, but the ability sharing on another creature is pretty good because, like, look at this. Archpriest of Shadows has that ability permanently. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or a battle, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Aqua's form on this card, unblockable. Put on Trailblazer Boots, make it unblockable if your opponent controls non-basic lands. So good. So good. Now, it's a human warlock. Not a lot of human tribal going out there. Warlock's an interesting thing. So you're not getting like buffs like where you'd see it, like, wizards decks. You're not going to see it in zombie decks. Like, it's not a very tribal friendly card. I mean, there's a lot of human decks out there. Warlocks, no. But like, you don't have a lot of cards to say warlocks you control get +1/+1, just how it is. This card is a solid, good limited card, good cube card. Probably pretty deep. Probably will be decent in standard. Definitely will see play in certain commander decks. I just like the fact that it has the reanimation clause on it. Pretty solid. So, like I said, be mixed between D plus, C plus, varying on the deck it's in. I think Dimir will love this card more than any other color. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right. Woo, 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 woo. Well, hello. I saw something fun, but I wouldn't want to check before I go anywhere. All right, what's this? All right, this is Enchantment Aura. Astral Wingspan. 5 mana. Astral Wingspan. Units battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 flying, and the spell is Convoke. Right, so I do love the idea of this card, and the art is just flipping fantastic. Oh, my lord. So, Astral Wingspan costs 5 mana, which is kind of harsh, right? Because, like, if you took out the Convoke and took out the draw card for 2 mana, you already have Astral Wings and one with the wind, which gives enchanted creature +2/+2 and flying. Also for 2 mana, you have Stratus Walk, which comes into play for 2 mana, draws a card, and gives a creature flying. So you're overcosted on this aura. But my defense for this card is that the fact that if you have a big creature that needs to get through to win, but they have a blocker, but all you need is flying, you just mitigate the cost of the spell by its Convoke cost with your little derps. Put this on your bigger guy, swing in. So this card is decent. Biasness aside, because I love enchantments and auras, I'd say this is probably like a D plus C card. D plus C card. Sorry, did not mean to exit the video. Blue, 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 blue. All right. I pressed the wrong button. All right, so let's go here. Heliod of Rain Down, we saw Tali, Primal Conqueror, we've seen on other people's things. 2 great cards that I want. Breach Multiverse is a lot. Polychronos is basic. Really good. Interesting. What's this? Oracle of Tragedy. 2 mana, 1/3. Human Wizard. When Oracle Tragedy enters the battlefield or dies, choose one. Draw a card and discard a card. Neat. Shuffle up to 4 cards with mana value 3 or less, 3 or greater from your graveyard to your library. Huh. I like this. Give me a second. Refilling the coffee. This card is pretty decent. And now it's no Merfolk Looter, but it loots if you want to when it comes to play. That's pretty solid. It's a 1-time loot or 2-time loot maybe. But since you get to choose to shuffle 4 target cards with converted mana cost value 3 or greater from your graveyard into your library, pretty decent. The fact that it gives you the ability when it enters the battlefield and dies is pretty solid. I'll definitely run this in limited. It's a limited card for sure. For shizzles. All right. What happened? There you go. What's this? Gift of Completion. 2 mana enchantment. When Gift of Completion hits the battlefield, incubate 3. Create an incubate token with 3+1 counters on it, and it has pay 2. Transform this artifact. It's transformed into a 0/0 Phyrexian artifact creature. Fine. Whenever a Phyrexian you control dies, survival 1. Oh, so it's Phyrexian. That's a Phyrexian tribal card. which is decent. It's not bad. Like, the card's good. Like, when a creature control dies, survival 1 is solid. The fact that it has to be Phyrexian, it's good for the Phyrexian deck. That's all. That's what it is. I think I'll see a good play. Can't really grade the card without seeing it played. See, Surge of Salvation. You and permanent control gain hexproof until turn, prevent all damage that black and red sources would deal to creatures you control this turn. Interesting. Not exciting. Don't want to grade it. Don't want to give my opinion on it. What's this? Xerix Strobe Knight. Okay. 3 mana 2/2 Flying Vigilance, which is actually not bad for limited. Tap, create a 2/2 white and blue knight creature token with Vigilance. Activate only if you cast 2 more spells this turn. Alright. It's not bad. Not bad. Huh. Interesting. Be interesting to see how that plays. I could see this doing fine. Why can't it just be whenever you cast 2 or more spells? If you cast 2, your second spell this turn, you get a 2/2 knight, and you still get attacked with this creature. Why can't it be that? Would that be too powerful for it? I don't know, because it's still 2 rares. 2 spells. It's only on your turn. You tap it. You can't cast 2 spells on your opponent's turn, so you can't gain extra value out of this. But there are ways to. No, you can't really. No, it's like a D+ card. Glistening Deluge. Alright, Glistening Deluge costs 1 generic, 2 black sorcery. All creatures get -1/-1 until turn. Creatures that are green or white get additional +2/+2. Oh, -2/-2 in turn. What's up with the color hating? Like, why does it have to be color hating? It's a fine card. Not my favorite. What do you guys think? Alright. What's this card do? The art's on it pretty badass on both sides. 2 mana, 2/1 flyer, which is decent for limited. Flying. 2/1, pay 5 mana. 4 generic and a Phyrexian green. Transform Skyclave Archaeologist or Archaeolist. Actually, only the sorcery. Transforms to 2/4. So you're not really gaining a buff on his power here when he transforms, but his toughness, yes. When this creature transforms as a Skyclave Invader, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't, put the card into the battlefield, put it in your hand. So it's an expensive Coiling Oracle trigger. That's 5 mana. 4 if you pay the 2 life. Why is that ability so expensive? I don't know. Card's decent and limited. Like, I would play it as a 2 mana 2/1. The transform ability, maybe because I like the ramp and draw effect on it, but like they're overcosting that draw effect. But on the bonus, it is a mana sink if you need later game mana sinks. So it is definitely just like a D+C card. And it just sounds so vague, but it's kind of disappointing that it costs so much. Render Inert. What's this one? Render Inert. I bet Gavin Verhey just loves the name of this card. 2 generic, black, sorcery. Move up to 5 counters from target permanent. Draw a card. Yay! This helps to win battles. This helps take out planeswalkers. This card is actually pretty powerful in this set. Like if you just need a spell to get rid of a battle, like a lot of battles that are cheap, there you go. Just remove those 5 counters, and you got it. I don't know how to grade this card because I don't know how to be in the set, but it seems pretty powerful. What's this? Sandstalker Moloch. Sandstalker Moloch enters the battlefield. If an opponent casts a blue or black spell this turn, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. It's a lot of text if your opponent casts a blue or black spell this turn. So 3 mana, 4/2 flash is decent. And it gets even better if your opponent casts a blue or black spell. It's like they're targeting me personally. It's like they don't like my kind of player. Like they're like, you're a blue-black player. Let's hinder you. All right. Here's a siege. Invasion of Dominaria. When Invasion of Dominaria enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life and draw a card. 3 mana, not bad. Like, not horrible. Battle for 5 damage. Turns into a Serra Angel. Not horrible. White-black, I can see this doing stuff. Not horrible. Like, the flip side's pretty decent for limited. Commander, maybe not. Look, these battles are going to be good in blink decks just because you keep getting the enter the battlefield ability. But you got to be able to target it from your opponent's side. You know, I don't know how many blink effects let you target permanent you don't control. But still, pretty decent. Like 3 mana draw card. That's pretty much you care about. 4 life. Yay. That's limited good. Flying Vigilance 4/4. Like, I see this doing pretty good in an Esper deck. You play this, you gain 4 life, draw the card, bounce it with a blue spell if possible. But then you play that inert card, remove the counters off this card, get a 4/4 flyer. Decent. It's like you're working. It's like playing Magic with extra steps. What? Work, man. I'm on vacay. I know you're on vacation. What? What? They call you in the work call you or something? Sorry. Work it. Work. All right. Interesting. Captive Weird. 1 mana, 1/3 defender. Pay 3 generic and a Phyrexian red. Transform Captive Weird. Activate on the sorcerer. So I have nothing going for the front end. It transforms into a 3/3. When this creature transforms into a Captive Conjurer, exile the top card of your library until in a turn. Wow. Sorry, I should finish reading that, right? When this creature transforms into a completed Conjurer, exile the top card of your library. Until in turn, you may play that card. Like these impulse effects should and must cost a little cheaper. Because, yeah, 3 mana, you get this ability late game, then it's probably worth it. Early game, you're struggling to even get that ability. I mean, I don't know. Not a fan of impulse drawing at high rates. All right, Phyrexian Gargantua. I think they're clever. Phyrexian Gargantua, 6 mana, 4/4. When Phyrexian Gargantua enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Phyrexian Horror. So Phyrexian Gargantua is a Phyrexian Horror based off the card of Phyrexian Horror, which costs 3 mana for 2/2 when it enters the battlefield, draw a card and lose a life. This is just double that. 2 of those creatures, double the power, double the card draw, double the life loss. Is it good? Limited? Yeah, you're going to play this limited. It's decent. You're going to draw the cards, you're going to lose the life, and you're going to have a blocker and an attacker. I'd give this a B because that's pretty solid. What's this card? It won't let me click on that card. There you go. Furnace Gremlin. Creature Phyrexian Gremlin. Okay, 1 red. So it's 2 mana for 1/2. Alright, generic and red. Gremlin gets +1/+0 until in turn. When Furnace Gremlin dies, incubate X time where X is power. Oh. This is actually pretty solid. It replaces itself and it follows the combat steps you want to use. I'd give this a C. A lot of C's in this set. All right. I'm trying to find cards worth talking about because here's a card that I like. Kami Whispered Hopes. 2 generic and green. Creature Spirit. If 1 or more +1 counters would be put on a permanent you control, put that many +1 counters on it +1. Alright. So it's a permanent. So that works for incubation tokens and stuff like that. You tap, add X mana of any one color where X is Kami Whispered powers. Tap to add X mana, 2 mana pool of any color, where X is the power of this creature. It's pretty solid. Like it, love it. The Mana Dork. Traxa will run cards like this. Alright. Pretty solid. I need to grade it. Alright. Where did I go? Where did I go? Alright. Ooh. Oh boy. So we've looked at these cards before. Zimone and Dina. Anything fun? So this is a good card. Alright, so it's battle. So it's just as powerful as a sorcery will be. Right? I think at this point, 6 mana battle damage, you're just going to not flip this card to Teferi very much. Poor Teferi. Be trapped behind a battle for a long time. Now, this will see play in the Esper deck. I guarantee there'll be an Esper deck coming out. When invasion of a new Phyrexian enters the battlefield, create X/2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. This is pretty solid if you think of it in the fact of a if you think of it in the aspect of a sorcery. You paid white and a blue at X, and the X for each 1X, 1 mana. 1 mana after 2 mana for the card. Every 1 mana is a 2/2 white and blue knight creature token. It's pretty solid. This will even see play in things. I actually might use this card in a commander deck of mine. If I get this card, sorry, I like it. I just think Teferi's kind of trapped behind a paywall here because you don't really want to. Look, I see you returning this to your hand and recasting it more than you're going to get to Teferi in this one. Right? Poor Teferi. Like here's a interesting thing because your opponent controls this effect when it's on their side, right? You cast this spell for a lot of mana. Yay. Get like 5, 6, 2/2 tokens. Yay. Next turn, it's on the battlefield. You're not attacking into it because you don't care to attack into this card. But you do have a Cyclonic Rift in your hand. Return everything your opponent controls on their side of the battlefield to their hand. You get this card back, and you get more X/2/2 tokens the next turn. It's pretty solid. I think you'll see play. I think it's a good token maker. Where'd you go? All right. I know we've seen a bunch of this stuff on DJ Stream. Now here's an interesting card here. Mutagen Connoisseur. It's like a Ramekin kind of feeling card, but it could be any set. It says, much Friction's delight, sheer curiosity drove many to willingly surrender to completion. Willingly. Mutagen Connoisseur costs 3 mana for a 0/5. Bleh. Flying Vigilance. Mutagen Connoisseur gets +1/+0 for each transformed permanent you control. What makes this card weirdly unique? And he transformed. You imagine this fluctuates in a werewolf deck. If you're running like a red, blue, green werewolf deck, since most werewolf decks are red, green, and you're adding blue to it, like say you're running like some kind of commander that lets you run those 3 colors and you're running werewolves and stuff like that in, that's pretty solid. Then you got all the transformed kind of cards. You're running legitimate transformers in your card. This is a weird card. That's what's strange about this card. And it's in good colors. Blue, green. So you got draw effects, ramp effects, mana fixing effects. So you can run a 5-color Transformers deck and just throw this in there just to randomly benefit from the transformed cards you have. I don't know how to explain this, but that is a weird card. But it's strange. Now, the modal lands, they're not considered transformed when you choose the backside of a card, right? Because that'd be interesting. I don't think they are, but that'd be interesting. Ooh. I don't know. What's this? Oh, here's a good card I like. Oh, Lord. Here's a fun card. All right. Errant and Giada. 1 generic, a white, and a blue. Legendary creature. Human Angel. Oh, how sweet. It's a human angel. With flash. Flying. Can be a commander. This is bonkers for a commander in a blue-white control deck. Flash flying. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast spells with flash or flying from the top of your library. This card is bonkers good. I don't think people are going to understand how good this card is until they start building decks around it. This is a control deck card. A control deck card. I mean, ouch. 3 mana, 2/3, man. Everything about this card is more powerful than its power and toughness. But this card is solid. Counter spells from the top of your deck. Draw cards from the top of your deck. Man, you got cards with flash. Oh no, you have a ley line, the blue ley line out that gives all your cards flash. Oh my lord, that can't cheat around this card, right? I have blue creatures with flash. Boom, not bad. Playing blue, there's Surveillance blue, there's Scrying blue. You can manipulate the top card of your library. You got Sensei's Dividing Top. This card is gonna be nuts. Watch. Take my words. Just hold them in a box for a bit. This card's gonna be nuts. Like in Commander. Maybe in Standard. I have no clue. But 3 mana for 2/3 flash is pretty good. Even in Limited, this is playable. I could be wrong, but I think this card is very powerful. This is probably going to be a good card to dig for. All right. Here's a card I like. Yeah. Invasion of Allura. So Invasion of Allura costs one of each color: white, blue, black, red, green. WUBRG Battle. When Invasion of Allura enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile 2 non-land cards with converted mana cost 4 or less. You may cast one of those cards, without paying its mana cost, and put the other one into your hand. Then put the rest exiled cards under your library in a random order. That is pretty solid. It's like Cascade for 4. That's what they're getting at. It's because like Cascade is always, you always search for a spell that costs 1 less than what the spell casts. So if you have a 5 mana casting spell, you Cascade for 5. You're looking for Cascade for 4, which really, so 5 mana, get a free spell for 4 or less. Pretty good. This card is nuts. That's the front-facing card. Battle. Awaken the Maelstrom is pretty solid. This card turns into a sorcery, so once it flips, it goes back into your graveyard unless something else is on the card. So it transforms into sorcery if you attack it. Awaken Maelstrom is all colors, so it's a 5-color spell, which matters in certain decks. Target player draws 2 cards. You put an artifact card from your hand on the battlefield, which is weird. That has to be an artifact. Should have just been an artifact or creature. Create a token and copy target permanent you control, which is solid. Distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1 or 2 or 3 target creatures you control, which is solid. Destroy target permanent and opponent controls. So it's just a random do good stuff spell on the other side. Interesting. The front face card I like the most. The battle. The sorcery side. You know. Well, I shouldn't say the sorcery side because the other side's the sorcery, but I like the battle side. Getting to draw a card and play a spell, basically, is pretty solid for this deck. I like it. I like the front face version of this card. Yeah. Yeah. Like it. Love it. Want more. I did it again. Well, we've been on for an hour. Yo. So I'm just going to call the stream a good stream. Hope you have a wonderful day. Plus, Dual Brains Live if you want to go over and check out his channel for a bit. Thanks for hanging out with me and talking spoilers. You guys are amazing. Bye-bye.